Hello everyone! Today we are going to be talking about a math problem related to stocks that we can analyze with Venn diagrams. It goes like this. In a survey of 100 investors in the stock market, 50 own shares in IBM, 40 own shares in AT&T, 45 own shares in GE, 20 own shares in both IBM and GE, 15 own shares in both AT&T and GE, 20 own shares in both IBM and AT&T, and finally, 5 own shares in all three companies. Now with this information, they usually ask us a question, or many questions, which makes us analyze the data. For example, how many investors surveyed did not have shares in any of the three companies? We can solve this problem by using a Venn diagram. We can have this blue circle as IBM. We can have this green circle as AT&T. And then finally, we can have the brown circle as GE. From the last statement, right over here, it shows that 5 own shares in all three companies, IBM, AT&T, and GE. Therefore, we have to put a 5 in the middle of all of the three companies, right over here, because 5 owned all three of the companies. Therefore, 5 should be in the middle of those. So we can cross out that statement since we have already done that. Then it says that 20 own shares in both IBM and AT&T. So this is the gap between IBM and AT&T. And since 20 own shares in both IBM and AT&T, this must be 15. Because this portion, this pink portion right over here, is supposed to equal 20. Since it's between IBM and AT&T, and it says that there are 20 own shares in both IBM and AT&T. Therefore, 15 plus 5 is equal to 20. So this pink portion must be 20. Now we can cross that out. And then it says that 15 own shares in both AT&T and GE. So between AT&T and GE, which is this portion, this orange portion, between AT&T and GE, 15 own shares. So this must be 10. Because 10 plus 5 equals 15, and this portion should be 15. Then it says that 20 own shares in both IBM and GE. So this yellow portion right over here is between IBM and GE. Therefore, this must be 15. Not sure if you can see it, but this is 15. Because 15 plus 5 equals 20. So now we can cross out both of these. And then, for the finale, we just have to put AT&T, IBM, and GE, their separate ones. So basically, now what we have to do is, since this whole brown circle is GE, 15 plus 5 plus 10, plus something should equal 45. So that's very easy to do. 15 plus 5 is 20. 20 plus 10 is 30. So 45 minus 30 is 15. Therefore, this portion, this brown portion, must be 15. Now we can do the same thing for AT&T and IBM. AT&T is this green portion, which is 15 plus 5 plus 10 plus something, and since we know that all equals 40, we do 15 plus 5, which is 20, 20 plus 10, which is 30, and 40 minus 30 equals 10. So therefore, this portion must be 10. Then, for IBM, is the whole blue circle, and we know that there are 50 owned shares in IBM. 15 plus 5 is 20, and then 20 plus 15 is 35. Therefore, 50 minus 35 is 15. So we can just go ahead and fill that in. And now we can cross out every single one of these. Now, since we have built this Venn diagram, it can be much easier to solve these kind of problems. First of all, we need to add up all of these numbers in the Venn diagram to see how many people actually were involved and had shares in at least one of the companies, right? So, to figure out how many investors surveyed did not have any shares in any of the three companies, we have to first figure out how many people had at least any share in at least one of the companies. So we have to add all of these up. Now, if we put it into a calculator, 15 plus 15 plus 10 plus 15 plus 5 plus 10 plus 15 equals 85. And then, since there were 100 investors in the stock market, we can just do 100 minus 85 to give us the number of investors surveyed that did not have any shares in any of the companies. So we would do 100 minus 85, which is equal to 15. Therefore, giving us the answer that 15 investors surveyed did not have any of the shares in any of these three companies. We can figure out the solutions of many other problems with this Venn diagram. Only 15 own shares just in IBM, 15 own shares just in GE, and etc. One question could be, how many owned neither IBM nor GE? So it would be neither IBM and nor GE. To find this, we would just notice AT&T's shares and add that to the number of investors that did not have any shares in any of the companies. And since only AT&T shares were 10, because 10, 5, and 15 were also had also some shares in IBM and GE. Only 10 had shares in AT&T, and then of course the 15 that were not that didn't have any shares in any of the companies. You would add that together, and you would have 25. So 25 investors didn't have shares in neither IBM nor GE. Anyways, that was it for this video. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. Thanks for watching!